I try to think back and I'm like, who the hell was I?
I still don't know who that person is.
And for someone as driven as me, to not be able to drive, to be told to shut down, to not be able to build, to not be able to make money, like, what was I doing?
Who was I?
So, my two youngest kids moved out. This is about what happens when a mom is already drowning.
And then you watch your kids get pulled away from you because you can't keep up financially.
And I wasn't being me at all. I wasn't Jenny. I had no direction.
And apparently, in everyone's narrative, Jenny was all bad.
I was trying to survive any way I could. I had a wedding choreography business back in 2017. So during that time, I thought, okay, I'll teach couples wedding choreography out of my home, just trying to make a buck. And even then, people were still coming for me. Accusations happened. Moms were yelling at me.
A lady literally went on all of my posts and told everyone I was unsafe.
I was literally teaching kids outside. I'm like, what do you want from me? I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to stay afloat.
And it was like, no matter what I did, I was wrong.
I have to tell you this. I posted a ton of crap online to sell. And honestly, I was happy I had expensive stuff because I sold it all. But one time, I had these really expensive sandals listed.
A man messaged me and said, how much for a picture with your feet in them?
And I was like, $250. He sent it to me. And I still kept the shoes. I'm sorry, what?
This is the kind of season I was in. Like surviving in the weirdest ways.
One day, I went to San Diego. I packed all my nice used clothes and I set up at the Beach Street Fair. I had a sign that literally said,
I had no shame at this point.
It said, I lost everything during COVID. I'm a single mom. Please support me. Donations only. And do you know how much I made? $50.
$50 was barely enough for gas to get there and back.
At the time, my oldest son was still living with me. He was already estranged from his dad.
And him and I, we've always been close.
I raised him alone for the first 2 years of his life because his dad was in Iraq. And then at 14,
for reasons we're not discussing,
he stopped going to his dad's.
So it was me and him.
He was my firstborn. We had 3 years, just us, no siblings. And then, even at the end of his high school life, it was just us again.
Because his siblings were gone.
He felt abandoned by them. And so did I. I'm not gonna lie.
I was off the rocker at this point.
I was accepting attention from people who didn't deserve my attention. I was completely broken. And my son, he was unraveling too.
We were annoying the hell out of each other.
He was 18 and mom was being an idiot. He was buying his own food and every once in a while I would steal his peanut butter. Now you might be thinking, girl,
you're his mom. You can share.
But look at it through his eyes. He was buying his own food with his own money. And honestly, why would he want to share with a mom
who was making bad decisions
and wasn't being a good example? And we ended up at each other's throats constantly. And I need to say this part carefully
because I've been in a very abusive name-calling relationship.
And even though he was my son,
I just couldn't take it.
I wasn't taking responsibility for my actions at that point. I would set rules. He was 18,
doing what he wanted.
And I was a horrible example. I just didn't know how to parent him anymore, and I didn't know how to parent me either. So I ended up taking all of his stuff to his dad's, and I told his dad straight up, I'm falling. I don't know how to parent him anymore. He needs his dad.
I never meant to kick him out.
I just wanted him to have guidance that I couldn't give at that time.
And I never thought his dad wouldn't let him in.
I found that out 3 days later. I called my son and I told him, come home, we can talk. He wouldn't come home. After 2 months, we were able to have lunch and make amends. But then my other two still weren't speaking to me. And I was living, but I was dead. I went from being an everyday mom to completely alone.
And when my two youngest moved, they completely stopped talking to me.
I can't say exactly what happened, but let's just say this.
Parent alienation is what happened.
Every narrative said I was the evil one. And I knew the time was coming when I would have to move too.
Because I couldn't pay for my place at all.
I was so depressed, I don't know how I made it each day. That time is such a blur. I didn't turn to drugs. I didn't turn to alcohol.
I honestly think I was clinically depressed.
I had a panic attack. I called 911.
I thought I was dying.
I couldn't breathe.
I had never had a panic attack before.
They had to give me oxygen. And I was so scared. I didn't know what was happening. And then, the notice.
Oh, the notice.
Tune in next week to find out. Because this notice changed everything again. You can't make this shit up. I know you think you've heard it all. You haven't. I haven't even got to the worst part. Stay tuned, you guys. I'll see you next week.